Welcome back to The Explainer. So, look, over the past few weeks, you've seriously put in the hours. You've mastered design principles, wrestled with color theory, perfected your typography, and created some truly stunning graphics. You've earned those skills. But right out of the gate today, I need to drop a bit of a hard truth on you. All of those hard-earned skills, they're completely invisible if you don't know how to present them effectively. Seriously. Because the reality is, a mediocre portfolio presented well often beats an excellent portfolio presented poorly. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's the absolute reality of the creative industry.
And that's exactly why we're here today for our final explainer of the course, diving into portfolio and presentation mastery, the bridge to the real world. I really want to set an empowering tone for you right now, guys. Packaging your skills, curating them, designing the flow, and speaking about them with absolute confidence, that's the ultimate key to unlocking real career opportunities. It doesn't matter how talented you are, your work just needs a proper stage.
So, here is our roadmap for today. Number 1, the power of presentation. Number 2, choosing your portfolio path. Number 3, curating and organizing work. 4, the STAR presentation method. And finally, recording your final submissions. By the end of this explainer, you're going to know exactly how to conquer those final assessments and take that next big leap in your career.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the power of presentation, or making your skills visible.
It's really time to make a major mental shift here. We need to move from being a student just doing assignments to acting like an in-demand professional solving real problems. Think about why presentation is so absolutely critical in the real world. Say you're submitting a freelance application. A client might be staring at 50+ portfolios that exact same day. Yours has to stand out instantly. Or what about a job interview? An employer isn't just going to look at a pretty picture and hire you. You've got to walk them through the work and explain your whole process. Then there are client meetings where you need the confidence to describe exactly what you can do for them. And even networking, you need to quickly and compellingly introduce yourself. Basically, the whole shebang hinges on your ability to present.
Okay, moving on to Section 2, choosing your portfolio path, specifically looking at Google Drive versus Canva.
Let's lay down the practical foundations for building that visual portfolio. You've got two main paths here, and it's basically a stark contrast between sheer functionality and actual design. Now, both of these are perfectly acceptable for your assessment. Option A is a Google Drive portfolio. It's simple, it's fast, and it's completely free. You're basically just relying on folders. It's highly accessible, sure, but it's definitely less visually impressive. It gets the job done. But then you have option B, the Canva portfolio. And honestly, this one is highly recommended. It's designed, it looks professional, and it's visually striking. Plus, by choosing a multi-page Canva presentation, you're actually demonstrating your design skills through the portfolio itself. Crafting a beautiful presentation is a huge design skill on its own, and it really shows clients that you care about the details.
Which brings us to Section 3, curating and organizing work. And the big theme here is definitely quality over quantity.
This is a crucial step, everyone. A professional portfolio is like a highly curated museum exhibit. It is absolutely not a dumping ground for every single thing you've ever made. The golden rule here is the 5 to 7 rule. Aiming for 5 to 7 really strong projects is the absolute sweet spot. It gives you enough variety to prove you've got diverse skills, but without completely overwhelming the viewer. Remember, people have super short attention spans, so you want them leaving wanting more, not, feeling totally fatigued.
Believe it or not, knowing exactly what to leave out is actually a superpower. First off, leave out any weak or unfinished work. Just don't include it. You also want to leave out those course exercises because clients are looking for polished, completed work, not your homework. And this is a big one. Leave out any work you can't confidently explain. Because if it's in your portfolio, a client is going to ask about it, and you'll be expected to articulately defend every single pixel. Oh, and like we just talked about, keep it under 8 to 10 projects max. An overwhelmed viewer is a viewer who just clicks away.
Now, bringing it back to your specific course assessment, there are a few exact deliverables from our previous modules that are absolutely required for you to pass. Ready? You'll need to showcase your refined logo design and make sure you include the variations. You also need 3 to 5 branded social media graphics. We also need to see that 30 to 60-second promotional video you produced. And finally, don't forget to include the links to your freelance profile and your service listing. These are the core elements that really prove you are ready to operate as a pro.
Okay, so once you've picked those projects, you have to structure them properly. The goal here is to turn a simple visual into a really compelling story about how you solved a client's problem. You do this by giving every project proper context. So include a clear project title, define the project type, name the client or the brand, and write a brief, maybe 1 to 2 sentence description of the goal. Then, showcase the final deliverables, briefly explain your process, and list the tools used. Seriously, context is exactly what separates an amateur from a pro.
Let's transition into Section 4, the STAR presentation method, also known as storytelling for designers.
We're shifting gears now from building the visual portfolio to mastering the verbal presentation. We're going to learn the absolute best tool for explaining your design decisions. The STAR method is this brilliant, unforgettable mnemonic that's going to carry you through this final assessment and honestly every single future job interview you ever go to. Let's break it down. Step 1 is situation. What was the client's specific problem or goal? Step 2 is task. What was your specific role and responsibility there? Step 3 is action. What did you actually do? This is where you talk about the research, your sketching, and your specific design choices. And finally, Step 4 is result. What was the outcome? Did you get great client feedback? Were there success metrics? Using this framework keeps your presentation completely focused and professional.
Let's see how this works in the real world with a fictional coffee shop called Morning Brew. So, situation. A new coffee shop wanted to stand out in a really crowded market. Task, you were responsible for the complete brand identity and the logo. Action, you researched competitors, sketched out maybe 20 thumbnails, and ultimately chose a combination mark blending a coffee bean and a sunrise using warm brown and cream colors to communicate freshness. Result, the client totally loved it, and it created a beautifully cohesive brand across their storefront and social media. Boom! You see how STAR transforms just a simple logo into a highly successful business solution? It's a total game changer.
And that brings us to our final section. Section 5, recording your final submissions. Let's talk delivery and assessments.
So, this is it, the final hurdle of the course. Sitting down, turning on the camera, and recording the video presentation for your ultimate assessment. Let me give you a quick rapid-fire rundown of presentation do's. Number 1, use a clear, well-lit space. Number 2, speak slowly and clearly. Look, nervousness makes everybody rush, so intentionally slowing down is actually the best way to mask those nerves. Next, look right at the camera lens. That builds a connection with us. Make sure you share your screen so we can actually see your amazing portfolio. Keep the whole thing under 10 minutes. Practice a few run-throughs before you hit record. And most importantly, smile. Your enthusiasm for your own work is incredibly contagious.
On the flip side, you absolutely must avoid these common delivery pitfalls. Whatever you do, please don't read directly from a script. It sounds totally robotic and unnatural. And never, ever apologize for your work. Don't say things like, well, I didn't have much time for this, or this isn't my best. Doing that instantly destroys your professional credibility. Also, don't go too long. Try to avoid distracting filler words like and like, and definitely do a quick test of your tech beforehand so you don't run into technical difficulties.
All right, let's look at how all this comes together for your final deliverables. This checklist right here summarizes exactly what you need to submit to successfully graduate. First up, Assessment 1, your portfolio submission. This is that beautifully curated visual deck with a minimum of 5 projects, and you'll submit it via a Google Drive link, a Canva link, or a PDF. Then we have Assessment 2, your recorded presentation. This is the 5 to 10 minute video where you confidently walk us through 3 or 4 of those projects, perfectly applying that STAR method we just talked about.
I want you to really hear me on this next part. You are ready for the real world. Seriously. You have worked so incredibly hard throughout this entire course. You've learned the theory, you've mastered the tools, and you've built the projects. Once you complete this module, you'll possess a professional portfolio, solid presentation skills, and the readiness to confidently market yourself as a graphic designer. So, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. You have the skills, but your work is only as good as your ability to show it. So, how will you show yours? It is time to take everything you've learned, curate your absolute best work, look right into that camera lens, and hit record. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I am incredibly excited for you, and I literally cannot wait to see what you create.